KGB General Kalugin told the Special Committee on MIAs in the U.S. Congress that he repeated his sensational declaration that KGB agents in the period 76 to 78 met and attempted to recruit American prisoners of war. Kalugin, however, was not able to provide exact dates of these meetings, and he said he had learned of this from his former subordinate, Niky Cheperenko, who likewise does not remember exactly the dates. The Security Council of the UN has called upon Libya to cooperate in the investigation of terrorist acts with regard to a plane over Scotland, an American plane, and a French one over Niger. The Security Council voted unanimously to support the resolution. The new Algerian leadership finds itself confronted with a difficult economic situation. There's a proposal that many ministries be fused. Oil and gas may become the chief item of export of Algeria. So we have the results of the presidential elections in Bulgaria. The president has been elected, Zhelev, and the vice president is Blago Dimitrova. Today they were sworn in. Today, from Cape Canaveral, there was a launch of the Discovery shuttle. The 7 crew members, 6 men and 1 woman, will conduct a series of experiments which will help to answer the question as to whether people can undertake long-term flights and establish colonies on other planets without undergoing genetic changes and suffering. They will also visit, talk about the Skylab laboratory, which there was participation of scientists from 17 countries in Tallinn, in Estonia. There is a closed meeting taking part in the government, which may resolve the subsequent fate of the government of Edgar Savisaar. Several political parties are prepared to form an opposition coalition and create a new cabinet. The dissatisfaction with the government is its inability to free the country from its fuel and food crisis. Savisaar himself is in Finland today, attempting to help out. He's meeting with the Prime Minister of Finland, Esko Aho, with regard to getting fuel and food. So rations have been introduced in Kaliningrad. Owner of a private car will receive no more than 40 liters at a time. The region produces a lot of oil, 1.5 million tons of oil a year, and this seems incomprehensible because the area is overfulfilling its plan. But as far as getting gasoline back in return, that's not working out. We cross the border into another country. Perhaps in Lithuania we'll be able to buy gasoline. But if we had long lines, here we see no lines because there is no gasoline, or there are private individuals who are selling gasoline at enormous prices. There are negotiations being conducted with Sweden as to the purchase of gasoline. And from the Kaliningrad port, there was a tanker that left with 16,000 tons of oil, sold by the Free Economic Zone, Amber or Yuntar, but it may be sold back to Lithuania. That's the absurd logic. So now we're getting gasoline from the center of Russia, from Yaroslavl, and so that's why we have to have ration books. Today, the informational agencies are relying on statements by Polteranin, who's the Minister of Transportation and Communication, said that TASS and the agency Rio might be united. Polteranin said that the question of uniting the two agencies was discussed at the Committee on Communications of the Russian Parliament. The draft of the law is currently being examined by Yeltsin, It will preserve the major structures of the two agencies throughout the Commonwealth. The minister stressed that the question of the leader of the organization had not yet been discussed. This is the sports section.